For section 9.1, we are going over how to solve linear systems of equations. When we are given y equals on both equations, we are going to set them equal. That means that 2x plus 3 will equal negative x minus 3. Because there's no x squared, we're going to try and get x on the left, the constant on the right, so that x is alone. And I'm going to try and do this in one step. So move x left, constant right. So it might look a little weird, but basically I'm going to add the x over to the left side, and I'm going to minus the 3 over to the right. That then creates 2 plus 1 is 3x. These cancel. Cancel. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. We then will divide the number off of x. X is equal to negative 2. I then plug it in. I find y. So I can choose either one of these equations. I'm just going to use the top and do 2, I plug the number in, plus 3. 2 times negative 2 plus a 3 is a negative 1. So then I'm able to write my final answer. Which is written as x, comma, y. Alright, next section. When I look at this one, it's different. I don't have 2y equal 2. I have an x equals. So whatever this is, I'm going to plug it into the x's spot. So this whole thing is going to plug in right there. So I'm going to write negative 5, plug in here, minus 2y equals negative 7. This pink bubble part is what fills in the parentheses. We then can distribute which means to multiply. Negative 5 times negative 6, which makes positive 30, with a y. Then I have negative 5 multiplied by a 35, which gives me negative 175. And the 5 doesn't get to multiply on because the parentheses end. So these will stay the same. Combine the 30y and the minus 2y together. 30 minus 2 makes positive 28y minus the 175 equals negative 7. Move the constant to the right. 28y is equal to -7 plus 175, and then I divide the 28 off of the y. So y is equal to 6. Then I need to find the x. So in order to find x, I'm going to plug it in. -6 times 6 plus 35. That means that x is equal to a -1, -36. And then if I check it, -6 times 6 plus 35 is -1. When I write my final solution, I write it as x, comma, y. Question C, I am given the y is this amount, so I'm going to plug it in for y. I then write 6x minus 5 bubble equals 35. Fill in the bubble with the -7x plus 34. We then distribute. 6x is fine. -5 times -7 makes positive 35. Positive 35 with an x. Then I have a -5 times a positive 34, which gives me a -170. And I'm done distributing, parentheses end, so the 35's left alone. I then combine my like terms. So I'd have a +6 and a +35. So I have a +6 and a +35 put together. Then we move the constant over to the right. So to move this one, I would do plus 170. And then we would divide. $35 plus 170, divide that by 41, x is a 5. To find my missing term, I then plug x in, -7, parentheses, plug the x in that I found, plus 34, y is -7 with the 5 plugged in, plus 34, is a -1 again. -1. So for my final solution, I write x first, comma y. Next one, I have x and y all grouped together on the left. I'm going to try and get them to eliminate. I have a -6 and a -18. I can get 6 to be an 18 by multiplying it by 3. That would give me 6x minus 18y equals, so basically all you're doing is 2 times 3, negative 6 times 3, negative 16 times 3. So I have the 6x minus 18y equals negative 48. I leave the bottom one alone. Okay, it's super close to canceling out, but my signs need to be opposite. So I need to switch the signs on the top one. So I switch all of their signs. So this become a negative, positive, positive. I leave the bottom alone. Now I can eliminate. Negative 6 minus 3 is minus 9x. 48, 765. Divide the negative 9 off. X is equal to negative 5. Once I have found x, I pick one of the equations. It does not matter which one. I'm just going to use this bottom equation. So I have negative 3. I know that x is minus 5 minus 18y equals a negative 3. So I just replace the x in the equation. That then gives me negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. Minus the 15. Negative 18y equals negative 18. Divide. And y is equal to a 1. So my final solution would be x, comma, y. Let's try and eliminate on this one. 4 and 5 would be more difficult. I can make the 5 into a 15 though. If I multiply this line by 3, that will give me negative 12x plus 15y equals and then I leave the bottom alone. These ones will eliminate. I don't have to change the sign like I did up here. These automatically cross off, so I can cancel. 5, 6, 17, x. Then we divide. X is equal to a 1. I pick either of the equations. I'm just going to use this bottom one again. And I'm going to replace the x with the number we found. And then that becomes a minus 5 minus 15y equals negative 95. add the value over. And then we divide by the negative 15. So we have the negative 90 divided by the negative 15 makes a positive 6. Final solution is x comma y. The ACT. The ABC Book Club charges $40 per month, plus $2 per book read that month. 2x represents the 2 per book. The Easy Book Club charges $35 per month, plus $3 per book. For each club, how many books must be read in 1 month for the total charge for each club to be equal? Set them equal and solve it. I want the x's on one side, and I want the constants on the right. That eliminates. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 35 minus 40 is negative 5, and those eliminate. I can now divide, which means x is equal to 5. So they would have to have 5 books in order to be equal in price. All right, this one, real world application. It might be a little confusing. I just want to show you what it would look like. A chemist has 2 solutions, one 20% and one 60%, and they want it to equal a 28% acid out of the 240 milliliters. Then when I add these two together, I want them to be a total of 240 milliliters. So this is percentages. This equation represents milliliters. To make this number a little bit nicer, I'm just going to enter it in. What is 28% of 240? 67.2. So if I want to find out what x and y are, I'm going to use the elimination method. I'm going to try and get this 60 to cancel out. So I need to have this be a minus 60 here. So I'm going to multiply this. That will give me I'm going to leave the top alone. The bottom becomes a negative 0.60x, a negative 0.60y, and then I need to do 240 times negative 0.60, negative 144. That allows me to eliminate negative 0.40x equals, so if you want to check, that's where the negative 0.40 came from, negative 0.4. And then I have 67.2 minus 144. Then we divide by negative 0.40. Divide my answer by negative 0.40, 192. Now if I plug that in to the equation, I have 192 plus y equals 240 minus the 192. Y is equal 8, 13, 48. Which means for the mixture, we would need the 20% acid to be a total of 192 milliliters. We would need the 60% acid to be 48 milliliters. And when we combine these two together, it will build a 28% with 240 milliliters total.